Hello everyone, and welcome once again to my channel, Andrews the Right. I hope you are having a great week, and I hope you are professing what I told you the last time, that positive vibes only. Well, you are welcome to today's Research Digest session, where we are going to look at a particular drug in question, and this particular drug was approved just about last year in August, September, to treat one of the monstrous diseases that has ever affected man. So let's go ahead and look at this new drug. Well, over the past decades, maybe 4 decades, okay, the Human Immunodeficiency Virus, HIV as you know it, has been a monstrous nightmare for scientists across the globe, and most especially for people that are living with this particular disease. Now, in a world where there have been advances in healthcare, science, and even the advent of space travel, which took over the internet last year, one would have thought that the smallest microorganisms, which is the HIV, would have been something very small, or for a better word, minute, to be dealt with by scientists all over the world. But as they say, the smallest thing actually causes the big and huge problems. Now, since the beginning of the epidemic, okay, about 4 decades ago, 84.2 million people have been infected with the Human Immunodeficiency Virus, and about 40.1 million people have died as a result. Globally, 38.4 million people were living with the HIV, were living with the HIV virus at the end of 2021. An estimated 0.7%, of adults aged between 15 and 49 years worldwide are living with HIV. Wow. Although the burden of the epidemic continues to vary considerably between countries and regions, the World Health Organization, the African region, remains the most severely affected, with nearly 1 in every 25 adults, 1 in every 25 adults, that is 3.4%, are living with HIV, and accounting for more than 2/3 of the people living with HIV worldwide. That is Africa, accounting for 2/3, globally, of people of this particular epidemic. And I think probably, maybe, our health system is also part of this problem, and maybe the fact that maybe Africa, we are lacking behind in terms of scientific research, in terms of funding, in terms of, well, there are various factors that may have contributed in this particular global situation, the African situation, in terms of the HIV epidemic, worldwide. Now, many research and funding has gone into finding a cure for HIV. These researches has given scientists a broader understanding of the virus, how to tackle it onwards. In the 90s, the first breakthrough in curbing the virus was introduced, that is the antiretroviral therapy. The expectation of this particular therapy was to prolong the lives, okay, of those that have been infected with the virus. But this expectation was cut short because, of course, maybe the virus was smart, or it's a smart virus, okay? Now, it was short-lived as a result because the virus was able to marshal its forces against these antiretroviral drugs which were introduced, okay, about 4 decades ago. Okay, now as a result, the drug had little or no effect on the virus, okay, because of the constant genetic mutations of the HIV, okay, of the HIV, the Human Immunodeficiency Virus, okay, because of its constant mutation, genetic mutations, okay. So because of it, it has less impact, okay. The drug has less impact on the virus, okay. Now, this was not the news, okay, that most scientists were expecting, especially people that were living with the virus. It's one thing being it's one thing having the virus, and it's one thing living with the virus, okay. It is not an easy journey. It's not an easy journey. So people started getting afraid, okay, of the virus because it looks more like a death sentence. That was 4 decades ago. Once you are infected with the virus, it became an issue. It looks like there was no drug which was available then that could be able to treat, or that could be able to put this monstrous disease in check. Okay, there was no drug then 4 decades or 3 decades ago. Scientists began to look at various ways of combating this particular virus. They got other drugs to target the virus at various stages of its life cycle. Okay, now, so scientists began to look at, okay, let's target various life cycles, as you can see, or let's target various portions, or the most important places where in the life cycle where it is very important for the virus to replicate. Okay, so that was how scientists began to look at a new way, or began to look at other ways by which they can target the life cycle of the virus. Okay, they can target the life cycle of the virus. So they brought out various drugs which target these life cycles, okay, and some examples are the fusion inhibitors. We have the NRTIs, we have the NNRTIs, we have the protease inhibitors, we also have the integrase inhibitors, we have many more, okay, probably about 5 classes of these drugs. Now, this led to the advent of the combination antiretroviral therapy, where a patient is on various types of drugs at the same time. Okay, so the patient could be on protease inhibitor with NNRTIs, okay, or could be on protease inhibitor with NRTIs, okay. And the function of these particular, the main purpose of this combination antiretroviral therapy is to enable the drug target various parts or various sections of the life cycle of the virus. Okay, so that was one way that scientists thought could defeat or could actually reduce the replication rate of this monstrous virus. Okay, now, so they began to, so as you can see from the life cycle of the virus, we have various drugs which target the fusion, okay, the fusion of the virus to the host membrane, okay, of the receptor cells, okay, that is the CD4 cells. Okay, so they began to look at, so we have the fusion inhibitors, we also have the CCR5 inhibitors, Okay, as you can see from the diagram, we also have the NRTIs, and we have the NNRTIs inhibitors. We also have the protease inhibitors. We also have the integrase inhibitors. Okay, so we have various drugs which target various portions of the life cycle of the virus. Okay, very important. Okay, very important. So that kind of brought a kind of relief in a way to reduce the replication rate of the virus, thereby actually improving the CD4 count levels of the patient. Because as you know, the virus targets the CD4. Okay, the HIV virus, okay, targets the CD4, and the CD4 T cells are very important in fighting this in fighting various diseases in the human system. Okay, in fighting various diseases in the human system. So at the end of 2021, okay, at the end of 2021, an estimated 28.7 million people, okay, were receiving antiretroviral therapy worldwide. Okay, HIV drug resistance can compromise the effectiveness of these antiretroviral drugs in reducing the HIV incidence and HIV associated morbidity and mortality. In 21 of 30 surveys which was conducted and reported by the World Health Organization, okay, by the World Health Organization, pre-treatment HIV drug resistance to nevirapine or efavirenz. These are some of the drugs, the names of the drugs: nevirapine, efavirenz. Okay, in population initiating the first line antiretroviral therapy, reached levels about 10%. Okay, pre-treatment HIV drugs resistant to the non-nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors, which is the NNRTI drug class, is up to 3 times more common in people with previous exposure to the antiretroviral drug. Okay, to the antiretroviral drug. Nearly 1/2 of infants, okay, this is where I get sad, okay, nearly 1/2 of infants born to mothers infected with a virus are HIV drug resistant, okay, to one or more of the NNRTIs. Okay, when we talk about the drug resistance, what I'm trying to say, as I told you before, the virus, the virus normally has the ability to actually change its genetic structure, okay, thereby becoming resistant to the drug which is being used, or which the patient or which the affected individual is taking. So that process, we call it as the HIV being we call it as being resistant to the drug, hence the drug HIV drug resistance. Okay, now global prevalence of the resistance to NNRTI drug class emphasizes the need to fast track the transition to a new. Now, combination antiretroviral therapy suppresses the replication and increases the CD4 cell count. Persons on the combination antiretroviral therapy are projected to have a lifespan equivalent to those without HIV-1 infection and do not transmit the virus to sexual partners if the viral load is below detectable levels. So I believe that is a kind of good news. Okay, so if you have been infected with HIV, that is not a death sentence. Okay, you can go ahead and enroll on these antiretroviral therapies. Okay, and I can assure you that you would live a normal life. Okay, you would live a normal life, because research has shown, as I've told you before, that persons on the combination antiretroviral therapy are projected to have a lifespan just like a normal individual. Okay, just like a normal individual, and actually you can marry and have sexual intercourse with your partner and not infect your partner with the virus. Okay, that is if you are following the combination antiretroviral therapy judiciously. Okay, so that is a kind of good news for people that are living with HIV/AIDS and those that has been infected with HIV/AIDS recently. So all hope is not lost. All hope is not lost. Okay, all hope is not lost. Now, so in addition, pre-exposure prophylaxis is highly effective in preventing new infections among individuals at risk. However, oral combination antiretroviral therapy, okay, and a pre-exposure prophylaxis regimen need to be taken every day, okay, every day, and require a near perfect adherence to minimize the emergence of drug-resistant variants and prevent new infections from propping up. Okay, so that is one thing about the antiretroviral therapy, okay, that you have to be taking the pills every day. Every day you have to be taking the pills, because if you stop taking the pills, probably one day or two, the viral may develop resistance to that particular drug which you are taking. So that was somehow quite a discomfort to people that have enrolled, or to people that are taking that are undergoing the combination antiretroviral therapy. Okay, antiretroviral therapy. So suboptimal adherence is a major cause, okay, for incomplete viral suppression, and there are multiple barriers to adherence, such as inconvenience, as I said, side effects, okay, stigma, and discrimination. Decades ago, it was not easy. As I said, once you are being diagnosed of having the HIV, of having the human immunodeficiency virus, it was more like a death sentence. People wouldn't like to associate with you. The stigmatization was very, 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 in fact, was, should I say, huge? Yes, decades ago. But now, due to the advent of the combination antiretroviral therapy, those stigmatization has gone down. Okay, and we continue to preach to people that having HIV is not a death sentence. Having HIV is not a death sentence. Some persons with the HIV-1 virus eventually lose virologic, immunologic, or clinical benefits from individual regimens, and people with the HIV virus have multiple prior regimens failures and significant drug resistance and those that have significant drug resistance have limited, should I say, treatment options. Okay, has limited treatment options. Therefore, developing well-tolerated and effective therapies for heavily treatment people, or people that have no treatment options as a result of having a lot of this drug resistance, has become key, okay, in this present age. Okay, in this present age. Therefore, there has been a new drug which was approved, which has been under investigational study for a long time, over 20 years now. Okay, and by the grace of God, last year it was approved for use by the Food and Drugs Authority. Okay, the name of this drug is Lenacapavir. Lenacapavir. Now, Lenacapavir is a novel, okay, first in class multi-stage selective inhibitor of the HIV-1 capsid protein. Okay, so as I mentioned previously, okay, scientists, most drugs that have been introduced focus on the life cycle of the virus. Okay, so this particular drug, okay, focuses on a particular life cycle, or a particular portion of the life cycle of the virus, which is very key in the virus maturation. Okay, in the virus maturation and burden, okay, of the human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, and that is the Lenacapavir drug. Okay, so it is an inhibitor of the HIV-1 capsid protein. Okay, in clinical studies, okay, Lenacapavir, as you can see, has demonstrated successful antiviral activity, okay, and adequate pharmacokinetic exposure for up to 6 months after just a single shot, after just a single subcutaneous injection, just a single subcutaneous shot. Okay, as described in the following sections, existing phases of that is phase 1, 2, and 3 data support that Lenacapavir use in both people that have limited treatment options okay, in combination with other antiretroviral regimens, have been very, very successful. Okay, so lenacapavir interferes with multiple stages of the HIV-1 life cycle by binding to two neighboring subunits of the HIV-1 capsid protein. Okay, HIV-1 capsid protein. Lenacapavir interferes with their interactions. Lenacapavir interferes with their interactions, essential, as I said before, for multiple phases of the viral replication cycle. These include the capsid-mediated nuclear uptake of the pre-integrated complex, okay, virion production, and proper capsid core formation. Virus produced in the presence of lenacapavir displays improperly shaped capsid, okay, improperly shaped capsid, as you can see, that can enter new target but cannot replicate. Okay, so these are the various targets of lenacapavir. I call it Lena. Okay, Lena. So as you can see from the diagram below, you can see that lenacapavir targets three important stages. Okay, that is the nuclear imports, the capsid assembly, and the viral assembly and release. So these are the key targets of the lenacapavir capsid inhibitor drug. Okay, lenacapavir capsid inhibitor drug. The capsid assembly is very important. Okay, so the lenacapavir binds to a particular site located on the capsid protein. Okay, so when it binds to this particular binding site, this particular site on the capsid protein, it changes the conformational structure of the capsid protein, which looks conical, as you can see, okay, which is conical. So when that happens, okay, it renders the virus ineffective to cause any more infection, okay, of neighboring cells. Okay, so that is it about the lenacapavir drug. Okay, I called Lena, as I told you. Okay, so three target positions on the life cycle of the virus, which is the nuclear imports, which is the capsid assembly, and the last one, which is being the viral assembly and the release. Now, so lenacapavir. So now the point that I want you to take with you today is lenacapavir is a highly potent first-in-class capsid inhibitor in clinical development. Okay, as I said, it has been in clinical development for the past 20 years. As a long-acting subcutaneous or oral agent with a half-life of 8 to 12 weeks and 10 to 12 days respectively. So as I said, as compared to the previous drugs which has been introduced, okay, the NNRTIs, the fusion inhibitors, the protease inhibitors, the integrase inhibitors, okay, all these drugs, you need to be taking it every day, okay, daily. It's a ritual. You need to be taking it daily. Okay, but with the introduction of lenacapavir, which is a game changer, okay, it's a game changer, because with this one, the half-life of this particular drug, as I told you before, is 8 to 12 weeks. Okay, so about 6 months. So you only go there for a shot, subcutaneous shot, a single injection. You can choose an injection, or you can choose the oral form of taking the lenacapavir. Now, lenacapavir has no overlapping resistance, okay, to any approved agent, okay, and there are no pre-existing resistance or polymorphism that reduce the viral susceptibility to the drug. Okay, so there is no pre-existing. So you can still be on the other drugs whilst taking lenacapavir, and there won't be any form of overlapping resistance or something of that sort. Okay, now lenacapavir in combination with other antiretroviral agents led to high rate of virologic suppression. Okay, as I told you before, Okay, in people that have limited treatment options, in people that actually have been are resistant to various drugs which is on the market presently. So in combination with lenacapavir, the clinical studies suggest that their virologic HIV suppression levels was actually successful. It was reduced. Okay, it was reduced. Okay, it was reduced. Now, emergent resistance to lenacapavir. Okay, emergent resistance to lenacapavir was seen in clinical studies, but it was often associated with a high fitness course. Okay, with a high fitness course as compared to the other drugs. Now, lenacapavir has a potential to meet the diverse needs of people living with HIV and individuals at risk of a flexible dosing interval, okay, that is daily, weekly, or up to 6 months, or a route of administration, whether it's injection or oral. So that is it about lenacapavir. So in fact, as I told you before, this drug has been under investigation for over 20 years now. Okay, it was only last year that it was approved, and this approval was based on two or some clinical studies which was conducted. Okay, one was the Capella study, as you can see, and then the other one was the Calibrate study, as you can see. Now, I will not bore you much into what went on in this study, but the first study, that was a capsid inhibition with lenacapavir in multi-drug resistant HIV-1 infection. Okay, this particular drug was done by Sorona et al. Okay, Sorona et al. Moro et al. Okay, it was published on May 12, 2022. Okay, it was the final stage of it was the final clinical investigative study. Okay, by the use of the lenacapavir drug. Okay, and then the second one was the resistance analysis in highly treatment experienced people with the human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, treated with the novel capsid HIV-1 lenacapavir drug, which was also published just recently. That was September 2022. Okay, by Margot et al. Okay, so these two were all clinical study for the lenacapavir drug. Now, they found out, okay, these two study actually led to very nice and interesting conclusions, okay, that the high rate of viral suppression were achieved, okay, when this particular drug, lenacapavir, were used in treating people that were affected or that were infected with the human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, so yes, with human immunodeficiency virus. So selection of resistance to lenacapavir in the Capella occurred in the context of unintended functional lenacapavir monotherapy. Okay, due to either the absence of fully active antiretrovirals in people, or to inadequate treatment adherence to the background drugs. Okay, so also the Capella trial also demonstrated that lenacapavir represents a valuable treatment option for people that do not have any treatment option available, because they are resistant to most of the HIV drugs which is available. Okay, so that is it about lenacapavir. It is a new novel discovery, and actually is actually going to reduce the kind of pain that people actually have to go through, discomfort that they have to go through taking the drug every day taking the drug, which sometimes can be very tiring. Okay, if you forget to take a drug routinely, it has its own consequence and it has its own effect. But with the advent of this new drug, lenacapavir, all what you need to do is to just go for one shot in every 6 months, which is quite okay. Which is quite okay. Okay, which is quite okay. Okay, because from the research which was done by by the Calibrate and then the Capella group, okay, it gives it a high success rate, okay, by the use of this particular drug. But let me admonish people, do not have unprotected sex. And go and check out, find out your status, whether you are HIV positive or HIV negative. If you are HIV positive, that is not the end of the world. There is still a way. Go ahead, see a doctor. You'll be enrolled on the antiretroviral therapy. Okay, and when you be taking drugs, and actually, as I told you before, okay, you can, or you would live just like a normal person. Okay, if you follow the procedure, if you follow the regimen judiciously. So there is no harm. Go ahead and get tested. If you are negative, then you know your status, so you know how to also protect yourself. Okay, so my people, my fans, my people, please go and get tested. HIV is not a death sentence. HIV is not a death sentence. So that is the good news I have for you this week on Lenacapavir, and I hope, based on what I've told you, from 4 decades ago, scientists have been struggling, but by the grace of God, we've made certain headway in regarding the treatment of of the HIV/AIDS. So make it a point to get tested, know your status, and let's fight this minute virus together. I'm your host, Andrews the Right. But before we go, please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do well and subscribe to my channel and share this video to other people, for people to get educated about HIV/AIDS. Let them know that HIV/AIDS is not a death sentence. Let them know that we have various treatment options available for them. Okay, once they get tested, and even if they become positive, we have various treatment options available for them. Thank you, and see you again same time